Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's a new month. It's April the 3rd, and I've got a quote for you, and we've got a guest. Do you know who my guest is today?
Who's your guest?
From Victory Coffee, I'm going to talk with Cade Courtney, and I learned about Cade Courtney through the TV program Shark Tank, and I've got a couple other people from Shark Tank I'm going to talk to. It's going to be like the next couple of weeks. Every Monday, I'm going to have a Shark Tank guest. I was going to put them all in one week and do like a Shark Tank week, but I decided this would be more fun. So anyway, we'll be chatting with Cade later in the program from Victory Coffee. Are you ready for your quote for today?
Yes.
It's hard working, making movies. It's like being a doctor. You work long hours, very hard hours, and it's emotional, tense work. If you don't really love it, then it ain't worth it. From one of the guys who's made a lot of money making movies, Mr. George Lucas. I think he's done okay. So,
yeah, I think he's done all right.
He's done. He's
not struggling.
He's going to make it, I think. All right, coming up, we've got some special things going on this Monday. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It is Monday, April the 3rd. Today is Don't Go to Work Unless It's Fun Day. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah. The good news is it's always fun here. Let me rephrase that. It's usually fun here. Every once in a while, you can tell if it's not fun because Heidi is really quiet that day. That means that we had some sort of
misunderstanding,
spousal spat before we went on the air, and then she's getting me back by not saying anything. So, yeah. Today's also Fan Dance Day. It's Find a Rainbow Day, Pony Express Day, Tater Day, and it's Sweet Potato Day, I guess, as well. And it's Tweed Day, and it is Weed Out Hate, Sow the Seeds of Greatness Day. So a lot of stuff going on today. Of all of those, I think I would celebrate Tater Day. I like taters.
I love taters.
I know that, I'm probably not supposed to because they're not as good for you as other things.
I don't like the word taters.
But
I love potatoes.
There you go. Potatoes. All right. Get out there and celebrate some of those things on this Monday. How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Your lazy boy is making you look like a lazy boy. It says here that's because sitting down shuts down your fat burners. According to scientists at the University of Missouri, after examining the muscle tissue of people being active and examining muscle tissue of those kicking back and relaxing, the researchers concluded that parking your tush switches off an enzyme that prevents fat storage. The what? That prevents it? The enzyme is mostly...
Switches off an enzyme that prevents fat storage.
Oh, there you go. So that does make sense.
Yeah.
The enzyme is mostly found in the muscles that keep you standing up. So if you're not active, the enzyme doesn't function, according to author study Mark Hamilton, PhD. So one more reason to spend more time on your feet. I remember we had this great idea of having a stand-up studio. Remember that?
Yes.
And then what that turned into was we had a stand-up studio with stools that were uncomfortable, and then
I actually stood quite often in the stand-up studio. I liked the stand-up studio.
Well, maybe we should do that again. I could just bring some cinder blocks and put it under this. Our studio's up on blocks. That would look really funny. All right. Anyway, so for those of you who get a chance to stand at work, it's good for you. So not only... do you get to stand up all day and walk around and have some flexibility and some freedom, but you have these little enzymes that are killing fat inside of you. So
there you go.
I feel like standing up for the rest of the show now, but I probably won't. But you know what? It's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. A woman is suing VW because her husband was driving drunk. Yeah, that's a bad idea. New York State, there's a woman suing Volkswagen because her husband had a blood alcohol twice the legal limit and then smashed into a utility pole and was injured. She's suing them for not making a car that cannot keep account on the legal blood alcohol level of the driver, apparently.
It sounds like you've got a blood alcohol level that's out of control.
I'm struggling to read it because it's so dumb. The woman is blaming Volkswagen because they didn't make the car so it wouldn't keep her drunk husband from driving it. What does that say about him, and what does that say about her? Anyway, it's unfortunate that he was driving and drinking, but people have to take responsibility for themselves. It's not the car company's fault.
Right.
So hopefully that doesn't go very far. That would be really sad if it does. I'm a big fan of designated drivers.
Oh, absolutely.
Get a designated driver, then you don't have those kind of problems. All right, coming up, your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. While some driving exams go better than others, it's not likely you're going to find one that went as bad as this one. It's not a good idea to smash your car into the side of the DMV building. We just talked about this the other day. Remember that? The other day we were talking about somebody doing this.
Yeah.
Well, that happened in Virginia. Nita Surik demonstrating her parking skills to the examiner, and she crashed into the building, putting a gash in the wall. Nita also found out that just because you don't have a license doesn't mean that police can't give you a ticket for reckless driving. So she got a ticket before she even got her license. It doesn't say whether or not she passed or failed, but I bet we could all guess.
Yeah.
I'd put my money on probably not. Probably didn't pass. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. How are you doing on your New Year's resolution to lose weight? Well, I haven't gained too much weight. Here's a little tip for you. Monday through Friday are the most important days for a diet. Eat well during the week, and that appears to be far more important than the occasional weekend splurge. This is according to Finnish researchers and American researchers. So I'll agree with them. I mean, since it's Monday, we got to start all over. But so can we cheat Monday through Friday and just kind of work on it this weekend?
That would never work. Weekends are when we always are
It
out
is.
of control.
That is bad. Hey, North Korea has declared war on long hair. A new campaign led by the state-run TV denounces long hair on men as a sign of being corrupt capitalist lifestyles that robs your brain of energy and intelligence, development by consuming too much nutrition. What?
Your hair consumes too much nutrition?
Apparently. Intelligence development by consuming.
Yeah, that's what
they're
it said.
saying. They're saying if you have long hair, you're going to be an idiot. Now, I couldn't hardly read that. I have really short hair, so you go figure. More than a quarter of Americans have not cracked open a book in the last year. So that number is on the rise.
That's too bad.
Now, that's not just printed books. That also counts digital, too. So even if
That's
you're
unfortunate.
reading online, that counts for something. If you're reading like a Kindle or Spindle or whatever those things are called.
I like to read a lot.
I do, too.
If I have an opportunity
I wish
to
I had
read,
more time
it
to
doesn't
read.
take me long to finish a whole
Well, the
book.
figure now has risen to 28%. It was compared to 21% just 4 years ago. However, the survey of nearly 2,000 people by Pew Research also found Americans overall are still fairly well read, averaging about 12 books a year or about a book a month. The average American. But there's still 28% that haven't read anything in the last year. So, still like 3/4 of us are doing pretty good. And for those of you that haven't read anything lately, I mean, pick up a book. It's actually a lot of fun. It really is.
Oh, I love to read.
All right.
Love it.
High levels of a stress hormone cortisol in your hair may be a strong predictor of heart attacks. This is from Canadian researchers. Issues such as a job or a marital issue or a financial problem are linked to increased risk for developing cardiovascular disease, including heart attacks, and it can be shown through the levels of cortisol in your hair. According to this study, I should have died 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, because they're saying it is increased risk from having issues on the job, marital issues, and financial problems. I can barely read today, so I'm having issues on my job. Hey, you're not mad at me right now, but
We're not having marital
give me 5 minutes and she will be. And financial problems. There we go. So it was good knowing y'all. And finally, ladies, if you tend to rise before your alarm and your husband is still in dreamland, you're not alone. So let's pause right there for a moment.
It's the opposite.
It is.
At our
I get
house.
up before you do. Although you wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, and then
Yeah.
you're up at like 3 a.m, but that doesn't really count, does it?
That, you know what, though? That's not happened for a long time.
No,
Not since we got our hormone pellets.
So you're doing good now.
Yeah.
Well, a McGill University study shows that women's internal clocks are set ahead of men's, often causing you to wrap up your sleep a little sooner than men. Study author Diane B. Bovin, MD, PhD. So she's a double doctor. She's a doctor.
Doctor.
She says, sorry, for those of you that don't know what that's all about, you need to watch more movies. She says, don't fight it. You'll feel more rested if you go to bed when you're tired enough for sleep and try to wake up at the same time every day. She says, nobody said you had to change out your... Well, nobody says you have to change out of your PJs. Okay. She was trying to be funny. Anyway, the whole thing is saying that a lot of the time ladies wake up before men, and one more opportunity for us to be backwards here. Many times we read this.
So many times we're the exact opposite.
And once again, coming up, we've got a special guest that is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us today. Cade Courtney has a company that's called VictoryCoffees. And the way that I first learned of Cade was I watched this show called Shark Tank, and he was on there, and it was really fun to watch this guy. We've got him on the line right now. Cade, what was it like being on the Shark Tank, first of all? Was it the experience exactly what you expected or completely different?
It was interesting, actually. I feel sorry. I spent about 10 years in Hollywood after I was out of the Navy. So I had some experience being in front of a camera, and I feel sorry for anybody that goes on a show that's never been in front of a camera before, because even with the experience I had, it was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
And what most people don't know is when you're on there, I was going for about 90 minutes straight, even though when it hit Shark Tank, it's only maybe 4, 5, 6 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're up there, standing up there on this, on this rug under lights, getting peppered with questions for 90 minutes by the sharks. But it was a really cool experience.
And by some, questions from people that, these are not just softball questions. It's tough stuff. But sadly, you did not get a deal. But when we talked ahead of time, you said, you know what, it actually worked out okay for me. Things have been going well, haven't they?
Well, you know what? I would say I couldn't be happier about not getting a deal because about 2 weeks later, after that episode aired, I was on Fox and Friends the Monday after inauguration, and basically, that's how I got on Fox and Friends, because I was trying to explain to Mark Cuban, hey, you do not understand the power of patriotism. And he's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I got on Fox and Friends and talked about my company, and my members, it exploded. It was amazing. I mean, we literally crashed the website for about 8 minutes.
That is awesome.
People understood, yep, this guy is a vet. It's a veteran-owned company. It's a great product, and we're going to support it. And that's exactly what happened.
It's a fantastic story as well. So for people who are not familiar, first of all, I encourage you to check out the video, not just the one that's on his website, which is a cool one, but also just, if you look for the video when he was on Shark Tank, because you'll learn that Cade, the gentleman we're talking to, is an awesome guy with an amazing past. Let's talk about what you used to do.
Well, I used to be a Navy SEAL. And I spent 9 years as a SEAL sniper and team commander. And then after that, I worked as a security contractor. I was one of the original Blackwater guys, and spent a lot of time doing that sort of thing. and then I was sort of in between making trips over to places like Afghanistan and Iraq. I was living in Los Angeles, and I ended up getting a TV show. So I mean, I was living a double life basically, but it was fun. It was exciting.
And then you, along the way, said, you know what? Everybody likes coffee. I want to have some good, strong coffee to wake me up every morning, and I think everybody should start their day with a victory.
Well, I tell you what, I can never even remotely imagine being a guy who's in a cubicle every day. It just didn't work for me. So I wanted to figure out an entrepreneurial venture, and you're absolutely right. Everybody loves coffee. And that's why I started Victory Coffees.
And the thing that's neat about this, I think, I don't know if it was in the video or if maybe you were the one that told me, but it's similar to like the Dollar Shave Club model where you sign up for a membership and they bring it right to your door and make it simple and easy. So where did that idea come from? Were you seeing that model work somewhere else, or how did that work out?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, people value convenience now more than ever, whether it's razors, diapers, or coffee. The idea of not having to get up, get in your car, go to the store, get out of your car, buy it, the idea of something that is a really, really good product that shows up every month, people love that. And like I said, everybody loves coffee, so I merged those two together, and we had Victory Coffees.
And since your appearance on Shark Tank and your appearance on Fox and Friends, the number of subscribers has gone through the roof, and congratulations on the success you've had there. But imagine a world right now where you hadn't had that chance. If you hadn't had that Shark Tank chance, if you hadn't had that Fox and Friend chance, do you think you would still be in business? Would things still be going okay right now?
Well, I would say no, but I would also say that although you could say I was very lucky to get those two appearances and get that kind of exposure, I also believe the fact that I spent those 10 years just trying to get lame acting jobs, but I got experience in front of the camera, and when I was in the field and what I did in my background, and being a patriotic American also put me in the position to get those two.
I agree.
Those two things. So it's the classic luck is opportunity and preparation.
Now, here's the crazy thing. I've talked to people who talk about how lucky I am, and I'm like, you would not believe how much time I put into being this lucky. So.
Yeah. Some people will see luck. What they don't see is the blood, sweat, and tears, right?
And it's that hard work. And you know what? Hard work does pay off. So congratulations on the success you've had. And again, I encourage people to check out the video. I'm going to share that video on our Facebook page, the one that says Why Victory Coffees, right on your website. If people would like to sign up for the program, they just go to the website VictoryCoffees.com.
That's correct. You can sign up. I know some people get a little nervous about a recurring monthly subscription thing. So don't worry, folks. You can sign up. You can get it as long as you want. You can try it just for a month, or you can even gift it to somebody that you care about. And
the thing that's neat is, in addition to getting beans, or you can get it ground, you can also get the K-Cups, which is a cool thing because that's the way some people get their coffee now.
Well, you know what? That's half my business. People love the K-Cups. We just added decaf K-Cups, and if you're not sure which coffee you like, we now have a sample pack called the Victory Squad, and it's one of each of our blends. Give that a try, and then come on back and order some more, please.
That is really, really cool. Well, thank you again, Cade, for not only your service to our country. We appreciate that. Thank you for that. But also thank you for coming up with a cool idea to help people start their day with a victory.
Hey, we're saving lives with this coffee.
That's awesome. That's good. You know what? I believe it 100%. People driving around groggy is not a good thing. So it's good to wake people up before they hit the road. So thank you for doing your part.
Yes, sir. It's my pleasure.
Again, Cade right there is with Victory Coffees, and you can learn more about them on their website, VictoryCoffees.com.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Rubber bands last longer when refrigerated.
We've talked about that.
I think we have.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The average person's left hand does 56% of the typing.
Oh.
So you're more typing with your left hand than your right hand. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A shark is the only fish that can blink with both eyes. I didn't think a shark was even a fish. Isn't it? Is a shark a fish? I was thinking it was something other than a fish. I don't know. Again, we should quit asking questions in here that we don't know the answer to.
It's not a mammal.
I don't know what
What
it
did you
is.
think it was?
I don't know. A gerbil? No.
It's not an amphibian.
I don't know what it is. Apparently it's a fish. Hey, I don't know what I thought it was. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Peanuts are one of the ingredients in dynamite. That's why they have the peanut-free tables at schools. They don't want those tables to explode.
That makes perfect sense to me,
That's not
actually.
really why they have that. And finally, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The word McJob has been added to the actual official Merriam-Webster's dictionary. And the definition is a low-paying job that requires little skill and provides little opportunity for advancement. That's not nice.
That is not nice.
There are people I know that have a McJob at a place that, the one we're talking about, that have gone on to do some phenomenal, amazing things. So don't get down on them. Coming up, we've got more fun stuff on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partnered with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
'Tis better to give than to receive. Do you believe this stuff?
Yes.
That's how the old saying goes, right?
Yeah.
Well, they say it is now a scientific fact. So it is true because science. That's why. Let me explain. According to a report in the journal Science, people who gave to others or gave to charities, they said they were happier than those who didn't give to others and give to charities in a survey. While previous studies have shown that having more money can increase your happiness. Really? I didn't know they had a study for that, but I
Why
guess
would you
makes,
need a study for that?
I don't know. It makes sense. Anyway, while previous studies have shown that having more money can increase happiness, researchers wanted to know if the way people spend their money makes any difference, and it turns out it absolutely does. So it says if you want to be happy and you're broke, cheer up. You can also be happier by giving time as a volunteer. So it doesn't have to be financial giving. It is the act of doing something kind for others that actually makes you happier.
I agree with that.
I
You're
agree with that,
always
too.
happier if you give than
Oh, yeah.
if you receive. That's true all across the board.
I
It's
think so,
true
too.
about your time. It's
Yeah.
true about your finances. It's true with blood.
Yeah.
If you're receiving blood, you're probably not very happy. You're
Well, you'd be happy to get the blood, but you're
happy to get the blood, but you'd rather give.
not in a great mood for whatever reason. What's the problem? It's this harpoon that's sticking out of me. That's what the problem is. Well,
It's
I feel
better
good
to give than
because
to
I just gave
receive.
blood. I didn't need to get any. I just gave. I had extra. I had all this extra blood pumping around. So yeah, that's true. I saw the wheels were turning over there. I knew there was some zinger coming. It always scares me when I see that look on her face because it's either something funny like that or it's something that I have to bleep out. So thank goodness it was the right one this time. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
Oh, boy. Listen to this one. A man claims a variety of psychiatric issues because he saw a fly in his water. This is gonna make Heidi's head explode by the time we get to the done. This is happening in Windsor, Ontario, and a man claims he suffered, quote, major depression, anxiety, and specific phobias and an obsession and obsessive thoughts that ruined his life and his hair salon business and made it hard for him to shower, all because he found a dead fly in a bottle of drinking water. Now, here's the thing that's interesting. He saw the fly before he opened it, so he didn't even drink any. He just saw it, didn't even drink the fly, and a jury awarded him $341,775.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
My
Yeah.
gosh.
Okay, so your head didn't explode, but she does have her hands on her forehead holding in the
I'm
braids
holding it
because-
together.
Yeah, that he just because he looked in a bottle and said, "Oh, there's a fly in here," I'm going to sue somebody. So, yeah, that happened in Canada. So, it's not our system, it's theirs that's messed up there.
I could give you a list in alphabetical order of things I look at that cause me emotional distress.
Well,
Can
start
I
with-
sue
Yes.
every single one of those
Let's
things?
start finding an attorney
I
that'll
could
help.
even start listing people.
Probably. I'm probably on the top of the list. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
All right, this guy was not very smart. Todd Granis of Grant Pass, Oregon, was going to propose to his girlfriend. I don't know what his plan was, but it wasn't a good plan. He soaked a cape in gasoline and set it on fire and, and jumped into a swimming pool. Then he climbed out and said, "I'm on fire for you." What the? If she marries that guy, she's got problems too.
She better make sure she has good insurance.
I just don't understand why you would do it that way. So I found a couple of other off-the-wall proposal ideas. Some of these were actually done. One was have a patrol officer pass on the request. So somebody that was friends with a police officer pulled over the guy's fiance and instead of giving her a ticket, gave her a note that she looked at, and it was a proposal. That would scare the heck out of you, though, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah, but that's pretty clever. Another one says, "Will you marry me?" Get that tattooed on your forehead. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Handcuff yourself to her arm and throw away the key. Then she has to marry you. Okay, some of these are just dumb. I think we're going to just move on. And my favorite one on here, though, is to burp your proposal.
Oh, gross.
You marry. Okay, I'll just move on.
The answer would be absolutely not. Get away from me.
Okay, coming up, we got some good news. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
All right, we got some good news coming your way here in a bit. I just realized I got this story before we get to that. It says here, you might be doing the very thing you need to be doing to avoid a stroke and you didn't even know it.
All right.
So if you don't want to have a stroke, listen up. This is what they say. According to breaking news, they say that coffee and green tea might help lower your risk of stroke. So if you're drinking coffee and you're drinking green tea, you're
Both of them?
lowering your risk. I don't know if you have to
Like
drink them
mixed
together. Let's listen to the rest here. The researchers interviewed more than 83,000 Japanese adults about their green tea and coffee drinking habits, following them for an average of 13 years. Are you kidding me? Can you imagine somebody following you around for 13 years asking, "So what you drinking today? You got is that coffee or green tea?" Would you just leave me alone?
Go away.
I don't think they followed him every day. Anyway, they found that people who drank at least 1 cup of coffee each day had about 20% lower risk of stroke than those who drank 2 or 3 cups of green tea daily. No, what? No, that's not right. So if you had coffee, I should pre-read this stuff. If you had the coffee, I don't have any coffee. That's my problem. If you had the coffee, you had about a 20% lower risk of a stroke, and those who drank 2 or 3 cups of green tea daily lowered their risk of stroke by 14%. So it would take 2 or 3 cups of green tea to have the same effect as 1 cup of coffee?
Apparently.
So why mess around with the green tea? Why not just do the coffee?
I don't know.
Unless, of course, you don't like the taste of coffee. Then
I love coffee.
yeah. And we just learned the other day that it would take like 13 cups of hot cocoa or 12 cups to equal the caffeine as 1 cup
Sounds
of coffee.
like we're doing Raisin Bran commercials.
I know. Like 2 scoops of something. I don't know. Oh, boy. Coming up, we've got some good news. You ready for that?
Sure.
Me too. I'm ready for that. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is kind of a cool story, Heidi.
Okay.
Dining out is often an adventure as friends and family gather together to enjoy each other's company along with a good meal. Food always has a way of fostering community, right?
Right.
A Texas mother and her baby were enjoying a meal at a Cracker Barrel there, and the waiter approached the table at the end of the meal. The mother was a little confused because the waiter unexpectedly ripped up her bill right there at the table.
Okay.
That doesn't happen often.
No.
The waiter then uttered a sentence that she never expected to hear. "This has been paid for." She was a little stunned. The lady went on to say, the incredible scene took place as her eyes scanned the busy diner, and then this amazing gentleman came up with tears in his eyes. She wrote this on her Facebook page. I'm scrolling through here. The outward appearance of the approaching stranger was the complete opposite of Wingate in terms of race and gender and age. She was a young African-American female. He was an older Caucasian male. And he walked up. She was holding her young son, and he delivered a powerful message to the curious woman. He said, "We really have to get over all this tension in America," the smiling stranger said. "I've been looking for ways that I can put this into action." Heart swelling with love over the man's kind gesture, Wingate decided that I want to give this guy a hug. So she said, I gave him the biggest hug and thanked him. Meeting Al, that's the guy's name, left a very positive impression on Wingate that humans are more alike than different. And she says, how can we hate somebody made by a perfect and loving God, end quote. And I think that's cool. I think that is really cool.
The most wonderful and beautiful story.
And there's photos.
I absolutely love it.
And there's, in addition, there's photos, and there's some photos on there and videos. So you can, it's all on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And I was reading it off the internet today, so I was scrolling through as I was doing it, which is not the easiest way to do it. But you can check that out. I think that's really cool.
That is fantastic.
And just, hey, I'd like to pay for her meal.
Yep.
And
I love
just
that.
That's a really cool thing.
I love that.
Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.